Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheswaraha. Om Bhagavan Sri Satsai Baba Namaha. Hari Om. At the outset, let me thank you all for giving me this opportunity to narrate my experiences in the Sai fold. I did not know much about Sai till about 1970s. In fact, my wife first introduced me to Bhagavan Sai Baba. She was deeply religious and highly spiritual. In fact, she had some intuitive power story. It was way back in 70s or so, I first saw Baba in golf links when he visited Delhi. It was in a small park where about 150 people or so assembled. I saw him from a distance, and then after a few minutes, I went back. That was the time when I was listening to Swami Chinmayananda, Chinmayananda's lectures on Bhagavad Gita. He started what was called Bhagavad Gita Yajna, chanting and explaining every chapter to the audience. Subsequent to my seeing Baba in 1970, then I did not have an occasion to see him till about 74 or so. That was the time when I lost my father-in-law, and my wife by that time had lost both her parents. She was extremely upset. She went to an old family friend who told her, "Look, my dear, we need a guru. So go and meet Sat Sai Baba." Based on her advice, we went to Sat Sai Baba's ashram, Puttaparthi, in 74 for the first time. That was a time when the number of devotees was very small. At the most 100 or 120 people used to be there. And we used to have very close darshan of Baba, almost 2 feet, 3 feet, 4 feet. We used to come and mingle with all people, roam around, talk to people, say this, that, and all that. But of course, things have changed subsequently. From that time onwards, every year, we have been visiting Puttaparthi for something or the other. But the experiences he has shown to me are tremendous. Way back in 84, I was handing over my unit in Meerut to my successor. I am an army officer. Being an army officer, we get posted every second year or so from pillar to post. So I was posted out of Meerut, and I had a lot of civil liaison duties. Meerut, as you all know, that area is a hotbed of religious disputes. Hindu-Muslim rights were very common at that time. So I had a lot of civil military liaison and a lot of work with the police people. So I wanted to introduce my successor to the police commissioner and others in a meeting which was organized in a place called Saldana, which was about 14 miles or so from Meerut. It was during the month of May when the sun was showering his heat all over the country and the roads were tarmac. And my colleague, my successor, to whom I am supposed to introduce, came to my office very late. The meeting was fixed at 10:30. The fellow landed at about 10:25, and the drive involved about 20-25 minutes. We were 6 officers sitting in a Donga. Because we were getting late, I started driving the Jonga at a speed of 100 kilometers or so. It was very hot, and suddenly it started drizzling. That small drizzle on a tarmac road made the road very slippery. And suddenly, a herd of sheep ran across, and I applied my brakes to the vehicle. The vehicle suddenly turtled, and it turned. It fell on its right side, then on the left side, and then on the right side. It was turning all the sides. Suddenly, Baba opened the door and told me, jump off. I jumped off and fell on a heap of sand. Subsequently, the vehicle went and collided with a huge stone, and the complete vehicle was written off. Surprisingly, none of us was injured. I had, of course, a small fracture in my chest bone. My colleagues, who were 6 in number, had minor scratches, and we escaped unhurt. That was a big revelation shown to me by Baba at that time. Subsequently, of course, I had many occasions to see him at various points of time. Another important incident that strikes my mind is the way he pulled me to his ashram. It is, an incident which is narrated in Satcharitra also. As Shirdi used to say, I will pull my man with a string wherever he is. He may be hundreds of crores away from me, or crores of miles away from me. That was exactly what he did. It was 84 or 85. I wanted to go to Swami's birthday. At that time, there was a talk of war between India and Pakistan. All our troops were concentrated in Rajasthan, and leave was a big problem. I went to my boss and asked him, look, I want 5 days casual leave or leave of any type to go and visit Puttaparthi. He said, no, I'm sorry, I can't give you. Army is on war footing and we have stopped leave for all, and I can't make any excuse. So I was struck with a very nauseating feeling. Then I started praying to Baba. Baba, I want to come and see you, and you are not allowing me. Surprisingly, next morning, my boss called me and told me, YS, I wanted to go on temporary duty to Bangalore. When would you visit Baba and spend 5 days with me? This temporary duty is only to help you to see Baba. So I went at government expense to Puttaparthi, had 5 days of darshan, and Baba at that time blessed me with his card also, and I used to sit in that veranda where he used to walk across past all of us. So that was another interesting revelation. Besides this, when I was married, Baba was going to Rishikesh. That was the time an ashram was being opened by Mr. Gupta, the then state president of UP in Rishikesh. Baba's ashram was being opened at that time. My wife went to manage the kitchen there and cook and serve food to Bhagavan. And Bhagavan, when we came to know that Bhagavan would be passing along that route, we erected a small shelter, put a chair, and only 10 or 12 of us were singing songs, some ladies and some gents. And in fact, one Dr. Theotia, who was a very ardent devotee of Baba, he was still working in Bangalore hospital. I do not know whether he's still there or not. We were all there. And suddenly, Baba's car was passing through and he stopped there, got down, sat in the chair for 10 minutes. And then we had very close darshan of Baba, almost touching him. And then he blessed us and rolled away. Thinking that he would be coming back on the same route, we organized a huge pandal, which accommodated almost 2,000 devotees with adequate microphone, PA equipment system and whatnot. Strangely, Baba did not take that route. He went via Ambala from there. Even now, occasionally it comes to my vision, tells me, don't worry, I'm looking after you. I'm looking after that. I'm looking after this. So I do not know how I can express my deep sense of gratitude to Bhagavan for these mercies. Besides, there are other few personal events which I would not like to share. And yeah, most important is the last darshan I had of Baba in 2010. On that day, we were flying to America. We went to the airport. We went to the desk to change our ticket and the boarding passes. My wife suddenly said, "No, we must go and see Baba. This is the last time we will see him." You know, my wife had some intuitive powers. At times, she used to come out with rare ones. So immediately we changed our program and flew next morning to Bangalore. When I reached Bangalore, a friend from Madras told me, "I think they will announce Baba's leaving his mortal coil tomorrow morning." "What do you mean by that?" I asked him. I said, "You draw your own conclusions. I don't want to elaborate further." That means by that time, he had already left his mortal frame. Of course, subsequently we went there. Kotapati was flooded with people and police, and we hardly had any space even to move. Of course, accommodation was luckily available for us. I don't know how. Again, Baba's grace. And we spent a day and a half. So that is the last darshan. Strangely, though, in an air-conditioned mortuary place. These are some of the incidents which I have personally experienced. Besides, I used to watch Vibhuti falling like a rain in two places. There used to be one Pandey in Delhi at that time, and in his mandir, Vibhuti used to just fall and kunkuma and honey. Similarly, there used to be another friend of mine, a great devotee by name Bandekar in Bombay, and in his house, it is stacks of Vibhuti. He had a 3-foot statue of Baba. It is always covered with Vibhuti. And you can see it falling, 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 falling. It was more like a rain of ash. So these are some of the experiences which I have put across to you. Well, you may then ask me one question. What is it I have learned from association with Baba or by being in this fold? There are a few important things which I have learned, which I would like to share with you all. One is Baba's basic principle: love all, hurt never, help all, hurt never. So this is a very important aspect. Being in the army, we know how to love everybody, irrespective of caste, creed, religion, etc., or even economic status. And another important thing I have learned is we have to give up attachments. You know, just as a nation is controlled by the constitution and a civic society is controlled by some acts, rules, and regulations, similarly, our personality is controlled by vasanas. Vasanas are nothing but attachments. How do we acquire these vasanas? These vasanas are basically acquired by having egoistic contacts with world objects. Normally, we all run after pleasure, activities which give us joy, what we think give us mental peace, which generally may or may not be true. We run after all those joys which are not perennial, which are very temporary, and yet we go run after them with ecstatic fervor, and if I may say so, of forgetfulness, and with a enchanting sense of idiocy also. But these attachments are very strange. A murderer feels very happy when he kills his victim. And a seeker feels happy when he's sitting and offering prayers. And a poor man feels joy when he gets crumbs. And a rich man wants to acquire more wealth to control the economic and political, to control the world economically and politically. So each has its own way of deriving pleasure. But yet, they forget the most supreme joy that can be obtained by understanding the self and learning who I am. Who am I? Those of you who have read Ramana Maharishi would have known is the definition of who am I. Even Bhagavan Sat Sai Baba used to say, Atma Anveshwan Karo, sits within yourself. That is important. We all feel that our body is ours. We say, I hear, I see. That hearing and seeing are functions of the body. But that is not you. You can also think, you can also decide. That is the mind that is working. But is it you? It is not you. But what is it? Who am I? You know, there is what is called Shiva, pure consciousness. And also there is an equally important word in Sanskrit called Shiva, very close to it. Shiva is pure consciousness. Shiva is a body without life. So long as the consciousness is within the body is Shiva. It is pure. But the moment Shiva leaves the body, it is Shiva. It is nothing but a frame comprising of those 5 elements of nature. Unfortunately, this aspect most of us do not think over. I think I have said enough for the day, and it has been a very enjoyable session. And I thank you all for giving me the opportunity, and thank you for listening to me patiently.